very own homie who we're going to keep anonymous because he's afraid of the men in black coming to his door. All right, starting to ask questions. But our homie out in LA started seeing all these different drones. I think same kind of drones flying around the skies. And he was generous enough to share with us at the Goat Show his videos of what he saw, which in my honest opinion, these are the best videos of any drones anywhere. All right. So if you want to see what these drones really look like hop on the on the TGS Goat Show account at TGS Show Pod. Right? Is that what? Is that what?
At the Goat Show Pod
on everything?
At the Goat Show Pod on everything. But hop on our X.
Look at this guy, founder mode.
Yeah. I'm confused from just being up all night looking at these freaking drone videos. They're freaking me out. But yeah, hop on our X, and you can see it there. It's pinned at the moment it's pinned, so you can see what these videos look like. But man, these are crazy. And to help us understand what we're seeing in these videos, we actually do have a very special guest, and that is the person who filmed them. I don't know what we should call you because you want to stay anonymous, but maybe call him Mr. D. We'll call him Mr. D for drone. Mr. D.
Hey, yo.
Big D.
Hello there, sir.
What's going on, man? I'm not going to say how we know you. I'm just going to say that I myself witnessed these live with you as well in one form or another. And so I can verify personally that you are not photoshopping these videos. You are not, runway MLing these videos. That these are legit videos caught in the moment by you of various drones. So maybe you can explain kind of how this came about.
Yeah, it's very simple. I guess I was, seeing all the news, and I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting all over New Jersey. Let me go in my backyard, because I saw some reports of some drones in West Hollywood and Temecula. I think it was around, 8 o'clock or so, where maybe 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like 11. It was late.
Oh, 11 for you guys. And just walked outside and just, looked around, and all of a sudden I just started noticing all kinds of these drones. There is to my left, to my right, above me there was I think it was about maybe 5 or 6 in one direction, and they were just sort of flying around very, very low, and it was like I'm out here every night, just hanging out, having a beer. I don't ever see these kinds of vehicles flying around. You don't see these things. So it was just very, very odd. I was like, okay, this must be something going on. I kind of jumped on my roof, and I just started really kind of looking at them. Brought my binoculars, and they're just like these. They look like little airplanes. But then they would kind of fly off into the direction, and then they would just sort of stop, and then they would kind of turn into the glowing balls. It's very strange.
So let me backtrack a second. So, because some people, when we posted this, they've already been like, "Oh, it's just a plane. It looks like a plane." And if you watch the video, it does look kind of like a they look like flying objects that have like wings and stuff. So they're drones. Like they look planes or drones. But what makes you say that for sure these are not say planes flying into LAX or Burbank Airport? Is it just that you never have planes in that airspace?
Well, you don't have planes actually going in the direction directly over my house. My house is not in any airspace in that direction. There's a very specific flight path that that is well known, and you can see planes coming down, but this is nowhere in the near close to it all. So it was just very odd seeing this plane that was a giant drone that looked like a plane literally come directly toward me. And then I think I was on a call with you, and then it just went right over the house. I tried to zoom in I mean, I don't know. It could have been one of those drones that sort of look like planes that just loiter. You know, those ones that just sort of fly around. It was very tiny. But other than that, there was other ones all in like surrounding the whole, the whole valley, in different directions, just floating, just sitting out there with lights blinking, just going in circles, and it was just like activity. Like at any time you would see 5, 6 of them, then another direction you see 3, 4 of them, then you see a few of them really high up, just blinking, just like swarming the whole area, for a good probably hour or 2 at least. And then I decided to go in and grab some food. But an hour later, I come back out. Look, the entire valley, the entire area was gone, empty. There was not a single one. Nothing. No planes, no air drones, no whatever these crafts were. Everything was gone. So it was pretty interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I've never seen anything like that. And I just, thought since what's happening, might as well record it and pop it up and see if anyone has any ideas what was happening. I'm surprised maybe there'll be more videos coming out today, but it was very, very interesting.
Well, when you sent the video of the one that was just sitting in the sky and glowing, that was the one that tripped me out the most. Because then I went to Twitter or X, and I'm like, the first thing that pops up is a close-up shot of this ball glowing in the sky. It's like somebody's maybe 500 feet from it, and like it's still unexplainable at that close. Like, how is this thing just there going up, whatever? And then the video where you show like it flying over your head, it looks like a plane, but not really. It looks like something that's giving off an image of a plane or something. Like, it doesn't look clear. Like when you see somebody take a picture of a plane from the ground, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, so usually what you see if a plane's coming, you see this like a light sitting there, and then it'll be slowly coming toward you, right? But this was sort of just a giant ball of light in the sky, sitting like a star, but just kind of raising up and just sitting there, and it's extremely bright, twice as bright as the North Star, just sitting there. And then it was literally just rising up and just sitting in the sky, and then slowly moving toward, different houses. That was weird.
To backtrack real quick, you were saying, I think you told me that, so you have these drones. Okay, they look like, drones that are coming in, but you were saying that they turn into the light, or do they go to the light, or how does it interact with this light that's in the sky?
Well, what I noticed was these drones, they'll fly over your house, and then when you're in visual contact with them, and when you can see them really clearly, they look like airplanes, right? And then in the distance, once they kind of get out of your vision of sight, they'll kind of look like a giant ball of light, and then they'll just stop midair and just sort of float there. And then they'll kind of float around. This is when they go up a little bit higher, and then they'll just sort of float around in the atmosphere, just a giant ball of light. They're not like an airplane going in a straight direction, disappearing over the horizon. They just sort of float there, which is weird. But you think that a plane shouldn't be able to just turn on a bunch of lights and float there.
But if it was a drone, it could, right? Like, so if it was in the shape of a plane, but instead of like the wings just being wings, they were holding out propellers, kind of like a drop ship or a helicopter, they could technically like stop midair, 360, turn around and stuff. The problem for me is the going straight up.
Yeah.
And how quick they do it.
It literally looks like on that one video, there's a propeller in the front of it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It looks like it. It looks like a plane. It makes me wonder what if like it could the lights that are on the craft can project like a hologram around the vehicle to make it look like something else.
That's what I think.
That's what I'm starting to think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're just some kind of high-tech drone that flies around and then stops in the air and turns on a whole bunch of lights around it to make it like very bright in the sky, like a glowing orb, and just sit there and lower it. I mean, I don't know how many lights they have. I mean, I know LEDs nowadays are pretty bright. I mean, that could be the other thing. Um, it's very strange. I've seen a lot of people like laser beams and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe that'd be kind of fun to shoot lasers at it and see what it does. But I don't want to get any trouble with any FAA or anything.
I do have a question. I wonder, because something that we've talked about a lot and is going around sort of conspiracy channels and talks is Project Bluebeam. So for anybody maybe watching who doesn't know what Project Bluebeam is, it's essentially, and I'm not sure if there's documentation or whatever, but it's essentially the idea that the government would create some kind of holographic, either rapture or holographic, representation of aliens in the sky as a pretext for uniting humanity so that we could fight them or we could keep them at bay, and thus creating the New World Order. That's the basic idea, I think, of Project Bluebeam. And the idea is that it would be holograms. These wouldn't be real objects. It would be advanced technology that governments would have to be able to project things in the sky. From your perspective, Mr. D, if you see this like bright ball beam and then you're seeing these drone plane looking things, did it look like in any way to you that it could be some kind of 3D projection that you were seeing?
It would be very hard, I think, unless they have some kind of satellite floating above the valley, projecting all these imagery down. That could be an option, but they were.
Well, there have been some satellite launches that were off the books recently. So I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that there are satellites that are beaming things to these quote unquote light balls. Like it could just be a hologram system, that light ball.
That could be something. But I mean, the weird thing was these things were flying very close. I mean, like you can see in the video, and maybe it was like 100 feet up, and this is like, there's no airport really that close. If there's an airport close enough, if that was a plane, it should have been way higher, and it's in the wrong flight path. But these things are very, very close, very, very, visible when you're looking directly up at it. And I would say they don't look like projections, but at the end of the day, it could be. I mean, some of them have sound, some of them don't. The actual ones that were just loitering, they didn't really have much sound at all. They were just sort of floating around and just literally just encircling the entire valley in LA. So I don't know, man. Yeah.
The ones that are flying over you, though, did they have the sound of a plane?
Yeah, they had it. They had a slight sound, like a slight humming sound. So definitely, there was some noise associated with that one.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't like it wasn't like when you hear a 747 flying overhead and it's loud. It's like,
no, not at all. It was more of like a buzzing, like a weed whacker. So I think if they're projecting imagery, they're projecting sound as well, or they're just, I don't know, maybe they're just doing some kind of giant military test where they're like, well, let's just test all these drones out, and then they just, I mean, you can see very similar drones of that the military is already having in use. And, there's Predator drones and stuff like that look similar to it that are all over, war zones. So maybe they're just like, let's just test these out and fly, 20, 30 of them around LA and see what happens, who knows?
So, I mean, that is one interesting aspect of this whole thing, because, I mean, we've all been led to believe that if anything enters American airspace and it is not and it is not known or understood what it is, that we would do something. I mean, maybe not blow it out of the sky, but we would scramble jets. You'd hear jets flying all over the place trying to, intercept these things or whatever it is, right? I mean, that's what we always know. So on some level, I mean, you did not see anything in the sky that would be like U.S. fighter jets or anything like that flying around,
No.
doing anything to.
No fighter jets, no helicopters. You can see helicopters, what helicopters look like, but these were, not helicopters. They're loitering. Helicopters usually fly in the path. They have a big spotlight on them. You can see a helicopter a mile away, but there also was
And they're loud as fuck.
Yeah, they're loud as hell. You can definitely hear them. But there was also a video I saw, it looked like it was in Malibu, where there was like several drones coming out of the ocean in like sequence, popping under the water. Like, I think it was like 8 or 9 of them, like literally in a row, just coming directly out. And there's a whole bunch of police cars and ambulances, and like, in the background, you can hear all these noises. And I'm like thinking, well, you know, if they're coming from the oceans, it would make sense if they're in LA, you know, in New Jersey, because they're very close to the ocean. You know, that would make sense. So, but yeah, if you guys have more questions, I gotta jump. But you know, I'll give you guys a recap tonight if we see anything else.
Yeah, keep us posted.
Well, I have one question for you. Did you notice them spraying anything?
Well, so that's another interesting thing. The sky was completely clear of all clouds, no clouds at all, right? But you know, after the drones are mostly gone, and there was a long streak, basically right along the middle of the sky, right where the moon was, directly across from one side to the other, the sky, which is strange. And then hours later, I went back out. There was nothing outside, but there's a strange cloud completely circular around the entire moon, which is the weirdest thing. I've never seen that before. Like a complete circle around the moon. I'm not sure if that's like the moon, like the energy of the moon or something creating those clouds, but it looked like a smoke circle, like going around the entire moon last night. And I took some photos of it and the video of it. So that's, you know, that's something really odd. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just a natural phenomenon, but that was after the drones were all gone. But it was literally a perfect circle around the moon. That was huge. But that was just weird phenomena after.
Interesting. I have one mini question before you go, and then do they come in peace, man? How did you feel? Do you feel like it's ours and we're testing it, or do you feel like it's something out of this world?
I mean, it's like, it's kind of like seeing like a giant animal in the woods. Like, you're like, whoa, that's really cool. You know, there's a giant buffalo there. Let me get closer and take some videos of it. Oh my God, it's coming, walking toward me. Oh, maybe I should probably step away from it. That's kind of like, or like a giant bear kind of wandering past you. You know, you're kind of freaked out where you're like, seems a little off. But, I think I'll keep recording as much as I can, but if they're trying to land on my roof, then that's a little different.
Nah, bro, you better record that.
Yeah.
That's the footage anybody would pay for right there.
Yeah, so, you know, I guess we'll see what happens tonight, but, thanks guys for helping me jump on, and good luck with the show. And
yeah, thanks for jumping on, man, and sharing what you saw. And for anybody who's wondering where you can see what he saw, again, head over to our X, and it's pinned right now. And yeah, I mean, and I will say, I think of all the videos I've seen on X or whatever, yours is by far the clearest. I mean, you can see it. I mean, it's clear.
you that one directly over the house. Yeah, which is crazy.
Definitely go to X to see all of them. And thank you again, Mr. Drone Guy, for coming by and talking to us about the drones.
Big old D. Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys. Take care.
If it isn't obvious yet, the Goat Show is a legitimate company, and we have insiders all over the United States and other places ready to give us footage and information. Cheers.
Hey, listen. If you're a whistleblower out there, the Goat Show will have you. All right.